This is AEDT 2150U, Digital Technologies and Advanced Teaching Methods. This is the final reflection paper being prepared for Anne-Louise Davidson and Nadia Nafi, and this is prepared and presented by BrendanOldman. So the plan to cover. I'm about to reflect on the process of this course, things I took away from our 12 weeks within the Adobe Connect session, as well as the 12 weeks on our online wiki and form contributions. I'm going to reflect on what I did personally within the course project, as well as what the group managed to accomplish as a whole, looking at what we did well and what we could have chosen to improve on with the constraints we had to work with. So where we started, week 1. It's so hard to provide several introductions to the same peers across 5 separate courses. It's hard to keep them interested in reading it and wanting to know more about me. I should have elaborated more about my personal self from the start of this program and given more insight into who I really am. Since enrolling into the AEDT program, I have been faced with several new ways of learning. We started the course looking at the history of teaching through technology, and I was introduced to Papert and the Logo programming language. I was in many ways able to break out of my shell and express my thoughts relevant to a course structure and how I envision learning should be. With the course AEDT 2150U, I was actually able to blend my love for digital technology and passion for future teaching, and actually construct a fairly realistic advanced course which utilized a constantly connected wiki with a built-in discussion board. I was able to collaboratively construct proper evaluation tools for the learner, software, and management connected to this program. So off the start, I was introduced to these professors. And upon further investigation into who this Anne-Louise Davidson person is and Nadia Nafi is, I was able to simply link in and learn more about who they were. But it was not until I did a quick Google search that I realized how well known these people were amongst various areas of the education field. I was looking through previous presentations and representative publications and managed to stumble across a form of work that was done by both of you fairly recently. I noticed quite a few pieces of work that you have both done together, and I was hoping to be able to get some more information about a particular one. Producing instructional videos through collaborative action research with people living with intellectual disabilities, it was a piece of work that the two of you did back in 2011, and from what I gather, it was done at a world conference show related to educational multimedia. I'll provide more information at the end of this video, and hopefully if you do have a second, if you would be able to email me, that would be greatly appreciated. I managed to look into problem-based learning, something that was very new for me. I took an interest in problem-based Model 2, problem-based learning for professional action. It is practical, accessible, and understood by a variety of people. It is easier to take material throughout life than to be able to understand it and relay that information to others. I found professional action to be the best form of PBL as it prepares the learner for a realistic understanding of various aspects of the education being portrayed and tries to make it accessible to the day-to-day life. Learning through means of self-influence, I feel, is a great way to familiarize yourself with something that is new, and you should be able to understand it much easier regardless of whether you are young or an advanced learner. We looked at a solution by a theorist that said, "Let a child learn mathematics by speaking in mathematics about things that really matter to him. The child can make the computer do anything that he or she can describe in a simple mathematical language." This is the same in almost all forms of skills. If you are trying to teach something foreign or complex or new to a learner, the best method is to relate things that really make sense to them and matter to that individual. So, teacher-centered and student-centered methods. We had a question about an effective teacher presence in an online environment, and I would have to say that you both managed to do this extremely well, and superior to other online Adobe Connect sessions that I've been a part of over these past 12 weeks, or winter semester. I like how we continue to keep things going the entire hour, or in some cases hour and 20 minutes, instead of breaking into breakout groups. I benefited so much from being able to have both of you in class every single week, and really gained a better understanding of all the presented material as a result. I have found week to week professors' presence in the virtual classroom amongst other AEDT programs good, but not the same as AEDT 2150U. I found other courses to be nowhere near as engaging, and I like to say thank you to both of you for that. So a student-centered method applies when I think about web-based learning or internet learning. The learner has the control of the access to the information that he or she desires, and it is not considered forced upon. They can interact on different levels and explore deeper into the meanings and topics. So we started to dive into constructivism, and as we dove into it, we started to understand how to prepare learners using a constructivist approach. John Dewey said, "Education must engage the learner in authentic life experiences by offering opportunities by which to explore, make errors, and reflect on what they did." Learners have a specific set of challenges that they do not have in a direct content-driven approach. Someone who is successful in a traditional learning environment, something that I've personally been brought up with my whole life, need to enhance and understand the process of the constructivist approach. Dr. Francois Desjardins said, "What is important is that you realize knowledge construction, and that it occurs within the learner and nowhere else. And it can be fostered far better than through discussion than it can through direct input." This resonated well with me, and the more we went into constructivism, I realized my personal connection to the types of learning environments. So my preferred approach to designing a course. I would stand behind the student-centered approach. The student-centered method applies when I think about the web-based learning, having the connection and being able to explore deeper into meanings and topics at my own desire or dedication to this information. But I really like the idea of community of practice, and I would like to consider it to be my ideal form of teaching and setup for learning purposes, following a social constructivist approach. So the wiki. The wiki was an excellent tool. It connected me to material in a personal way. Once people started to utilize it, eventually, once I got comfortable with this tool, I was able to go outside of the norm of linking relevant definitions from other wiki sites or using external resources and actually express my opinion and definition of the terms and theories. I was able to transition that information from the wiki to the forum fairly easily, and my personal notes taken in a Word document proved to be very useful as I watched the lecture tutorials every week. Connectivism. As we dove into connectivism, I was able to see the big picture. And Louise, you said something along the lines of, if you don't have 100 LinkedIn contacts, then nobody knows you. Well, the main reason I disconnected from the social media scene was because of the constant connection and drama related to these newly emerging social platforms. I found things got too big too fast, and I was lost amongst the pictures and status updates week in and week out. I didn't like bumping into close friends and having them tell me about my personal life or things they thought they knew about me through these online environments. Now, a peer of mine, Stephen, made a very good point when he said, "You are your own filter." The problem is that with the tagging and liking, the freedom of others on the same platform that they have with your content, you sometimes feel intruded on and maybe a little caught off guard with what others know about you. So it's just a matter of getting everything set up the way you want it to be set up and being able to be comfortable in these environments to where when you do disconnect, you're not worried about things that are left online. So, digging more into social constructivism, I realized I liked the idea of the community of practice. But as we went further into social constructivism, I realized that the way to utilize a community of practice within this approach. So through the mentorship, the partnerships, and the discussions within the learning, the community of practitioners can collectively work to build up their combined intelligence and worth, to present it within a community of thinkers with a problem that provides an alternate insight that you may not have realized otherwise if you hadn't taken place in this environment. So with an effective flow of problem and solution with the collaboration going on, the quality of work produced should reflect better results. A needs assessment. I learned to write a needs assessment, which is something I will carry with me through various areas of employment the rest of my life. When and why I should conduct a needs assessment. I learned how to determine what you need to do to conduct a proper one. Being able to understand the environment related to the needs is crucial. You must start from the ground up and work with the staff and coordinators within the environment to develop a proper understanding of the needs. Why is this training being conducted? What will be taught? When will it occur? How will it follow the training? Well, these are all basic things that until you dig into them and lay out the groundwork, you're not able to proceed. So to get an idea of the understanding of what is needed by taking into account the surroundings and the issues revolved around it, identifying and understanding what it is that you are assessing and needs to be changed to yield a positive result. And Pedagogy 2.0, there was a question on the forum related to feeling stuck in school, and a lot of this stemmed from my personal obstacles in trying to restructure my personal memories and expectations from education. It isn't so much that I was stuck or am stuck, it is just a matter of using my new school system to my benefit, and realizing that in many ways we are, although learners of this program, we are also teaching each other, which is something that you don't realize till the 9th or 10th week, until you look back on all your forum posts and your wiki posts and you realize how people have edited them and proofread them and built on your thoughts. And I've really embraced this new way of learning. I do really hope to pursue it for many years to come, even outside of my degree completion. So, evaluations. Who, what, why, and when do we assess and evaluate? We assess individuals to measure their prior existing knowledge, their acquired knowledge presented, as well as the comprehension of the material presented. We can assess all levels related to specific courses, practices, programs, and systems. We are assessing to ensure quality and measure effectiveness of the material for future offerings. We want to make sure that technology related to education is being used properly and understood well. Now, we're going to look now into the Garden Guru program and explaining what worked well and what didn't. And creating the Garden Guru 101 course was extremely interesting, and I took away a lot from it. It was a very good experience. Initially, the idea was sparked with a simple desire to want to grow my own personal knowledge of gardening. I took a liking to this hobby once I owned my own home, and I was presented with this big backyard to landscape and create tomatoes in for Meredith and Michaela's baby food. So that's where the idea came up with, and my wife and I were just thinking of ways to save money in any way, and the gardening came up. So in weeks to come, the constant connection basically allowed our group, James, Joanne, Olga, and myself, to come up with new ideas and ways to form this end project. But we were not communicating this as effectively as possible, week to week. We all had so many great things to bring to the table with ideas, and more importantly, the structure and content related to the final page submission. Joanne was able to effectively keep things driven towards course objectives relevant to what we are learning in the classroom each week. James had very good skills when it came to exploring and unfolding other team members' thoughts and ideas to bring about new life and new ways of using that material. Olga was able to be assigned tasks and did them well in a timely manner. I was able to personally try to pull together various multimedia aspects related to the project, and also expand on some content relevant to the course outline material that was initially given to us back on week 1 and week 2. It was really hard trying to pull together so many ideas, but at the same time trying to keep things direct and advanced. I feel at times maybe we fell short on the advanced side of things, but with more time and dedication out of the gate, we could have achieved those things. I feel like the connection and communication was extremely strong, and the tools that we created showcase that. I do think we did a good job. We decided to put the evaluation tools live into FreeMarks originally, but we quickly changed our idea and wanted to have them obtainable through a physical copy, either downloadable and printable, for the purpose of demonstration and being able to keep with it a recorded copy for the TOPS community. So I feel the evaluation tools could have been more interactive in the end, but we did our best, and it was hard keeping everyone on the same page week to week, and that'll probably lead me into my final reflection slide here, and basically looking at individual versus group and my personal inspiration. I did take away a lot from this course and develop the skills needed to progress crucial parts of program and course structure. I would love to continue a second version of this course, say AEDT 2151U, where we are tasked with building a course on a similar level, but with little to no support to relevant criteria or expectations. It would be excellent to construct a needs assessment or evaluation tool now, knowing what I do, and being able to go back on my notes and construct a more polished version. And a personal opinion I have for single project construction versus group project. I feel a group of 4 in the end was good for a project of this scale. But if I could do it again, I would stay within the 2 or 3 maximum group members, as work would be able to get done quicker and less downtime with constant contact within that extra member of the group. Though I do have to say that if I were tasked with this entire project on my own, it would have been completely different, and having peers to work with to really polish off the project did benefit us. And in the end, I became a more self-sufficient learner. I found myself able to produce and contribute to a massive scale project in ways I didn't think were possible for a group of 4. Now, AEDT 2150U has really inspired me, and this course I've taken a lot away from. I personally have been on the straight and narrow-minded path for years and years now to get my Bachelor of Arts degree, and if I'm able to finish and graduate and then move into Teachers College, I could pursue my lifelong goal of being a quote-unquote teacher, either on the elementary school or post-secondary school level. Oh no, did I just say teacher? Well, after watching video tutorials on week 8 and week 9, my inspiration went to another level. And after watching those 2 videos where Anne-Louise interviews the individuals and goes to the art show and really is able to showcase, the talent and basically non-barriers related to these individuals' talents and skills, I can't stop thinking about, where I would like to take that experience. And I've looked into several areas in the Durham region that deal with adults with learning disabilities, both mental and physical. And the more I speak with my wife, the more she says, this is something that you really need to pursue and look into over the course of the summer, and maybe getting involved in an internship or even just volunteering my time to get my foot in the door. So I do thank you very much. I do thank you both very much for the entire experience. It was a very fun and interesting course, and I hope you both have an excellent summer, and I hope you're both professors in future AEDT programs, as I probably have at least another couple semesters to go in hopes of getting my degree. Any questions or comments, please feel free to email me, and again, have a great summer, guys. Thank you so much for everything. And there's some references here below just relevant to some video tutorials that I used information from. Thank you.